All new this morning, he's a best-selling author who has multiple books set in West Michigan because of his love for the area, and he's not even from here.
That looks like a Hallmark movie, and I thought I have to be a part of this.
Wade Rouse is from the Missouri Ozarks. He says once while vacationing in Cape Cod, he was convinced to check out West Michigan.
He said Michigan has beaches, so ended up coming to Saugatuck on vacation the very next summer and fell in love. And I thought, is this place real?
Chatting with 13 on your side in the heart of downtown Saugatuck.
As you can hear from the Saugatuck chain ferry that's cranking up.
Just one of its many gems.
Which is, if people don't know, the last hand-cranked chain ferry in the U.S.
He says he's always wanted to be an author, even though
it's not like a normal career path. For a kid like me that liked to read and write, growing up in the 1970s was difficult, but I had a mother and grandmother that loved me unconditionally and supported my dreams fully.
Today, he's the internationally best-selling author of 9 books, which have been translated into 20 languages, using the pen name Viola Shipman after his grandmother, who was a seamstress.
Never finished high school, never learned to drive, and she sacrificed everything for our family, and it's the reason I'm here today. My grandmother was overlooked in society. She offered nothing of value, people thought, to our town or our world, and yet she offered everything simply by loving me unconditionally.
Her name no longer being overlooked.
50 years from now, if I'm no longer here, people will say my grandmother's name. You know, no one said her name during her life, and I want people to say it.
He moved to West Michigan around 2006 after publishing his first book, leaving behind his life as a PR director.
I quit my job, left my salary, my IRA, my retirement, my benefits, and just started writing, and it was the best decision I ever made.
Living in a cabin built in 1918, full of nostalgia and with an intimidating garden.
My husband Gary is an incredible gardener, and he put all of this together, and many of them are heirloom flowers from our own grandmothers, including my grandmother's peonies. They started in her garden. She used to grow long rows of peonies and hang her sheets over them so that when I would stay with her and she'd tuck me in at night and pull up the sheets, she would say, this is what heaven's going to smell like.
3 of his books take place in the Saugatuck area.
I'm fascinated by environment, especially in our lives and the stories that I tell, because setting changes us. Where we live, the people we surround ourselves with, impacts who we are on a daily basis. West Michigan, I think, is, and I've traveled the world, is I think one of the most beautiful spots, not only in the U.S., but in the entire world.
Spreading that message across the globe through his work.
It's not just people from Michigan that are reading my books and are traveling here. Every single day I get an email or a letter from a reader that's coming to West Michigan to want to visit and see the beauty that I write about, because they don't believe it's as beautiful as I describe, and it is, as you can see.
His next book is already in the works. This one set in South Haven. It's called The Page Turner and will be out in the spring.
I love this.
Yes.
I think it's very cool. You know, we all have our different ways of expressing our feelings. I think this is his way of expressing just how much he loves West Michigan.
And he's so right. You know, we've got this vacation spot right in our backyards, and I love that he is appreciating that and helping people around the world appreciate what we have here in West Michigan.
Sometimes we take the lake shore for granted and West Michigan for granted, and this is just one way to beautify it. Very cool.